Jameer ji, Angami ji, Chingwang Konyak ji, friends, once again we are at the general elections. Once again you have to choose what direction you want to give India. In the last elections, Nagaland joined the mainstream and elected a Congress government. Now you have to vote for a strong, united India. An India that can stand up to any pressures that are put upon us. During these past years, we have seen a growing presence, a growing interference in our affairs by people who live outside India. We have seen an agitation in Assam, an agitation in Kashmir, and one in Punjab. These are the forces that we have to fight today. Today, Indira ji is no more with us. She has been snatched from amongst us by the bullets of a couple of assassins. But her thoughts, her spirit will remain with us to guide us, to strengthen India, to be able to face these forces. We need a strong, united India, because without a strong, united, independent India, there is no development. If we think back to what Nagaland was 37 years ago, when India became free, we see Nagaland as an unadministered area, an area where no development had taken place. Development started with independence. We can go back hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years, but the work has been done only in the past 37 years. This is what we must continue. The work for the benefit of the people of Nagaland. We have, the Congress has programs for every section of our society. And we have special programs for those who are more deprived, more backward, and need more help. Nagaland is a backward area, and we have to help bring it up in line with the rest of the country. We will do this. For a strong India, we need to fight against those forces which are dividing our country. Those forces that increase the divisions amongst us. Those forces that make us fight with each other. We have to remove that type of politics that is harmful to the nation. Politics for personal gain, politics without keeping a long-term perspective in view. We have seen during these past 2 or 3 years that all the opposition parties have acted extremely irresponsibly. The agitations in all 3 places were in a way helped by the stand the opposition parties took. Instead of taking an aggressive nationalistic stand, they chose to politicize the issues and to take a political stand for their own personal gain, forgetting that that could damage the country. This is what we have to put an end to today. We have to bring back politics in India on ideology, on programs, on public service for the people, on a better service for the people. The Congress promises to do this. We also promise that we will give a clean, efficient administration, and we will set up methods of removing any corruption that we find in any walk of our life. With these added programs and the old programs of the Congress, Indiraji's programs, those programs that have helped India move ahead while very large countries in the world were finding it extremely difficult to make ends meet. In these 5 years, India has progressed more than the United States or Britain. Similarly, India in these 5 years has increased its food output by almost 1.5 times. In these 5 years, we have been able to once again put India on the road to progress. We cannot forget the trauma that the country went through between 77 and 80 when we had a mixed Janta government. That is what we have to fight against today. To keep India united, progressive, to keep it strong, to face any pressures that we might get from across our borders, any pressures that we might find within ourselves, we have to strengthen the Congress. There is no other party in India which can keep India united today. There is no other party with vision. There is no other party which has performance behind it. You have to today think of your future, which is tied with the future of India, which can only be guaranteed by the Congress. Our candidate from Nagaland, you know very well, Chingwang Konyak. Konyak, come up front. The young man who will look after your interests, and we will support him in looking after your interests. By voting for him, by electing him, you will not only be voting for progress in Nagaland, you will be voting for a strong India. You will be voting for the Congress party. When we look at the achievements that this country, this great country of ours, has done in these past 37 years, we have a very proud record. There are very few developing countries that can claim the type of independence, the type of freedom that India has today. There are very few developing countries which have a democracy like India has today. Both given to India by the Congress, both preserved in India by the Congress. Many countries got free, many countries had democracies, but one by one they succumbed to some sort of totalitarian rule. India, because of the proper ideologies and policies of the Congress, did not fall into that trap. We were able to maintain this freedom because, sit down. We are able to maintain this freedom because we worked at becoming self-reliant, because we concentrated in those areas which are critical for our growth, critical for our independence. And we have been able to stand on our own feet in those areas. When we became independent, nobody in the world believed that India could feed itself. We were falling into very deep debt under the PL 480 scheme. But we concentrated on our agriculture. And today, not only are we self-reliant, but when there is need, as there was in Africa, we had the capacity to send enough grain for our brothers and sisters on that continent. Similarly, in industry, where India was not able to even make a sewing needle, today there is almost nothing that we cannot make. We are able to make our own aircraft, launch our own satellites. We have controlled nuclear energy. India has made progress like no other developing country has. And it has done this under the guidance, under the ideology of the Congress. We have been able to remain free of any power blocks in the world. Again, just after independence, we were told that you must join one of the power blocks. But India chose a third way. We, together with two other countries, started the non-aligned movement. And what was just 3 countries in the mid-50s, today has 104 countries with it. The important thing is that with this non-aligned movement, we are able to stand apart from the major power blocks of the world. We are able to speak the truth, speak what we feel must be done. Again, because of the philosophy, because of the ideology of the Congress. Today, if India is to maintain this freedom, if India is to maintain this growth rate, it can only do so under the Congress. The opposition parties have demonstrated that they have no capacity even to function as an opposition, let alone function as a government. We have to today unite under the same flag that won us our independence. The youth of India, the youth of Nagaland must stand together and support India in this time of trial, in this time of difficulty. And with this election, you can establish a strong, united India, a progressive India. When you go to vote, you vote for our candidate, Jingwang Konyak, vote for the Congress, vote for a strong, united India that can stand up to any foreign forces, any divisive forces within the country. Thank you very much. भाइयों और बहनों, 2 शब्द मैं आपसे हिंदी में भी बोल देता हूं। 1 महीने हुए इंदिरा जी को हमारे बीच में से छीन लिया गया। कुछ हथियारों की गोली ने उन्हें छीन लिया। उनकी कोशिश थी कि भारत टूट जाए, लेकिन भारत इतना कमजोर नहीं है कि किसी की गोली से टूट सकता है। भारत एक मजबूत देश है। भारत ऐसे दबाव का सामना कर सकता है। कुछ महीनों में जब आप अपना वोट डालने जाएंगे तो आपको सोचना है, भारत के भविष्य का सोचना है, भारत की एकता का, भारत की अखंडता का सोचना है। आज अगर भारत को आगे बढ़ना है तो खाली कांग्रेस के नीचे भारत आगे बढ़ सकती। जितने विरोधी दल हैं हमारे, सब ने दिखला दिया है कि वो सरकार चलाने के काबिल नहीं। उन्होंने हमें दिखाया है कि उनके कोई कार्यक्रम नहीं है। वो अपने सिद्धांत पर नहीं खड़े होते, एक दूसरे से मिलने की चक्कर में अपने सिद्धांत, अपनी विचारधाराएं सब भूलने को तैयार हो जाते हैं। आपको इस चुनाव से स्थापित करना है कि भारत की राजनीति स्वच्छ राजनीति होगी। भारत की राजनीति भारत के लिए होगी, अपने आप को या कुर्सी के झगड़े में आगे बढ़ने के लिए नहीं होगी। आपको स्थापित करना है कि भारत की राजनीति हम ऊपर उठाएंगे, सिद्धांतों पर चलाएंगे, विचारधाराओं पर चलाएंगे, पक्के कार्यक्रमों पर चलाएंगे। आपको इस चुनाव में हमारे उम्मीदवार चिंगवांग कोन्याक को कामयाब करना है, जिसमें वो आपके लिए विकास का काम कर सके, जिसमें वो नागालैंड को आगे बढ़ा सके और शायद इससे भी ज़्यादा जिसमें वो भारत को मजबूत कर सके दुनिया की शक्तियों का सामना करने के लिए, भारत को महान बना सकें। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।